Welcome to the Price of Justice, Navigating Federal Court Document Access. In this video, we will explore how to access federal court records efficiently, ethically, and affordably. To get started, we will introduce the PACER system, outline its challenges, and then transition into practical strategies that can help you obtain essential documents without paying unnecessary fees. Finally, we will cover fee exemptions, document number tactics, and trusted free alternatives. Let's begin. Here is today's agenda. First, we will explain why public access to federal court records matters. Next, we will break down the PACER problem and its fees. Then, we will move to free alternatives, fee exemptions, and document number tactics. After that, we will outline trusted resources and a practical step-by-step workflow. Finally, we will test your knowledge with quick quizzes before summarizing key takeaways. Public access to federal court documents is not just a convenience. It is a cornerstone of transparency and accountability. Access lets you follow constitutional cases, such as habeas corpus petitions, read official filings like government responses, and analyze sworn declarations. Moreover, it empowers researchers, journalists, and everyday citizens to understand how the judicial system operates. With that context established, let us now transition to the main obstacle many people face: the PACER system and its fees. Before we proceed, a brief disclaimer. This content is educational and should not be taken as legal advice. Policies, fee structures, and exemptions can change, so always verify current rules with the relevant court or official sources. Additionally, respect privacy laws, protective orders, and any sealed material. Use records responsibly and ethically. With that foundation, let us examine the PACER problem. Although federal court filings are public records, the PACER system typically charges per page, which can quickly become expensive when downloading core filings such as a government response, motions, or sworn declarations. This creates a double pay dilemma, because taxpayers already fund the courts, while also paying again to view documents. Consequently, the cost barrier can deter the public, students, and independent researchers. With the challenge framed, let us now transition into smart, cost-saving strategies you can implement immediately. First, consider free alternatives. Many accounts are not charged if quarterly usage stays below approximately $30, which may be sufficient for a few small documents. Next, federal depository libraries often offer public PACER terminals where you can view and print filings, potentially at low printing costs only. Additionally, most federal courthouses provide public access terminals in the clerk's office for free on-site viewing of case dockets and linked documents. Having covered these options, we will now visualize how to choose your best path. This flowchart begins with a user who needs a specific filing, such as Doc 9, the government's response, or Doc 10 and Doc 11, sworn declarations. The first decision asks whether the user requires multiple large documents. If yes, it directs toward free sources like courthouse terminals, federal depository libraries, and nonprofit archives such as Court Listener and RECAP. If the needed documents are few and small, the chart suggests relying on the quarterly cap to avoid charges. Another decision checks eligibility for fee exemptions for researchers, journalists, students, or indigent litigants. If eligible, the path moves toward a waiver. Finally, each branch converges on an access-achieved outcome using the most cost-effective route. Knowing the precise document number and type streamlines your search and reduces cost. For example, if you need Doc 9, which is commonly a government response, or Doc 10 and Doc 11, which might be declarations, write those numbers down. Also record the exact title, filing date, and page count so that you can plan whether to use a free terminal, a library, or the quarterly cap. This timeline diagram shows how filings progress from a petition to a government response and accompanying declarations, then to a reply and an eventual order. With your documents mapped out, let us now walk through free initiatives and archives that may already host what you need. To explore free law archives, start with Court Listener and the RECAP archive by searching your case name, docket number, or jurisdiction. Then, skim the docket entries to locate specific targets, such as a government response or declarations. Use available filters to narrow by date or party, and always confirm that the docket text matches what you need. If you cannot find the document, expand the search to Google Scholar for related opinions or orders, and to the Internet Archive or institutional repositories. Having covered online archives, we will now outline fee exemptions that can unlock access in eligible circumstances. Some courts may grant fee exemptions, particularly to researchers, journalists, students, or indigent litigants. When applying, request a waiver that is appropriately scoped to a case or a limited set of documents. Provide a clear purpose statement that explains your research need or public interest justification. If granted, you may receive free access to documents within the approved scope. With exemptions covered, let us compare where to access files for free, on the ground and online. Courthouse terminals provide direct access to the most current docket, with clerk staff available to assist, though you may need to pass security and adhere to limited hours. Printing is typically available for a per-page cost. By contrast, federal depository libraries often offer free terminals and skilled research assistants, sometimes with access to additional databases. Library environments can be quieter and more comfortable for extended research sessions, but hours and terminal availability vary, so it is prudent to call ahead. Moving forward, let us consolidate these options into a concise reference table. This table summarizes your main options. PACER may be free if your quarterly usage remains below approximately $30. Courthouse terminals and federal depository libraries typically offer free on-site viewing, though printing may cost. Court Listener and the RECAP archive provide many docket documents free of charge. Google Scholar is useful for opinions and related orders, while the Internet Archive and institutional repositories occasionally host filings and reports. Next, we will walk through a practical, repeatable workflow you can use every time. Here is a reliable workflow. First, capture the case number, party names, and the exact document numbers you need. If you do not know them, read the docket to identify the precise filing. Next, search Court Listener and RECAP to see if the document is already archived. If not found, decide whether the file is small enough to remain under the quarterly PACER cap. For large PDFs, use courthouse or library terminals to view and print only the essential pages. If you are eligible, consider applying for a fee waiver. Finally, save both your files and a research log of what you accessed, where, and when. With the workflow in mind, let us test your understanding. Question: which approach should you try first to minimize or avoid PACER charges when seeking Doc 9, a government response? Option A: pay PACER immediately for the full document. Option B: search Court Listener and RECAP and check public terminals or libraries. Option C: print the entire docket without reading entries. Option D: skip document numbers and browse randomly. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is: search Court Listener and RECAP and check public terminals or libraries. Beginning with free archives and on-site terminals helps you avoid or reduce PACER charges. Paying immediately, printing the entire docket, or browsing randomly are inefficient and often costly. Now, let us reinforce document number tactics with a quick visual. Use a simple Markdown checklist to avoid confusion. First, create a small docket map with the case number, target documents such as Doc 9 and Doc 10 or 11, and the filing dates. Second, confirm the exact titles and docket text before downloading anything. Third, if the page count is high, plan to use a library or courthouse terminal to view or print only what you need. Fourth, maintain a short research log to track what you accessed and from where. With these tactics in mind, let us visualize the trade-offs in time and cost. This pie chart emphasizes prioritizing free archives and public terminals for the bulk of your research. Use PACER strategically for smaller documents when you can remain under the quarterly cap. Reserve paid downloads for must-have materials that you cannot get otherwise. Having looked at trade-offs, let us try one more quiz to solidify the steps. Question: you need Doc 11, a lengthy declaration. Which plan is most cost-effective? Option A: download on PACER, regardless of length. Option B: start at Court Listener and RECAP, then use a courthouse or library terminal if not found. Option C: skip to fee waiver applications before checking availability. Option D: purchase a full docket bundle from a third party. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to start at Court Listener and RECAP. Then use a courthouse or library terminal if the document is not archived. This approach minimizes costs and still gets you the content you need. Paying first or buying bundles without checking free sources is inefficient, and applying for waivers prematurely may not be necessary. Next, let us distill the essential takeaways.
Here are the essential takeaways. First, map the docket and identify exact document numbers. Second, consult free archives and on-site terminals before paying. Third, use the quarterly cap strategically for small files. Fourth, seek fee exemptions when eligible. Finally, keep an organized research log to avoid duplicative costs and confusion. To conclude, let us summarize and point you to your next steps.
To wrap up, remember why access matters. It promotes transparency and accountability.
PACER's fees are real, but you can plan around them using libraries, courthouse terminals, and free law archives such as Court Listener and RECAP. When appropriate, apply for fee exemptions, and always stay organized with document numbers and a concise research log. As a final note, verify current policies because fees and access rules can change.
Thanks for watching. If you found this guide helpful, please like the video, share it with someone who is researching a case, and subscribe for more practical, ethics-first tutorials. In the comments, tell us which strategy saved you the most time or money, and what topics you want next. See you in the next episode.